So, thank you once again for joining in the Arizona Breakdown. My name is Andre.
Hi, Andre.
What's up?
And I'm joined by...
Hey, I'm Ryan. Welcome back.
And today, we have these amazing guests that need no introduction, but to be nice, we still will. So, we are joined by the dudes in Malnourished.
What up?
Yay! So,
Hi.
I'm going to have you guys go around, introduce yourselves, say what you do. So,
Well, I'm Dustin. I'm an alcoholic.
You're in
I'm
the right
Derek.
place.
I play the triangle.
The electric triangle.
Those are the guitarists.
Yeah, I actually don't drink at all anymore.
typical guitarist.
I'm Roman. I do vocals.
Chris and I do drums.
So, how you guys doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
You know what? I'm okay. I once again was complaining about it earlier. I can't complain to this man because he works at 3 a.m. every day. But I woke up at 7 a.m., which is early for me, and I'm mad about it, so I'm going to complain about it. So here that is. But let's not talk about that forever. Let's talk about you guys. So, what has Malnourished been up to this year so far?
Well, we just got done recording a new EP, and we got a while before we release it, but it sounds great.
Hell yeah. And so, from what I understand, Great Asylum is going to be on the new EP.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay. So for anybody who has not checked it out yet, Malnourished released a single, Great Asylum. Didn't you guys also release a music video with that as well?
Yeah.
So sick. Also check that out. There is a music video ready for your viewing pleasures. You guys put on such a goddamn good live performance.
Thank you.
I just want to say that. Let's just put that out there right now.
We try.
Dude, yes, you guys put on such a goddamn good show. Like, I think I've gotten to play with you guys like 2 or 3 times at this point, I think.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, the last one was at the...
the Battle of the Bands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
And
both.
with cattle.
Bro, I
And
completely
faceless.
forget. I forgot Summer Slaughter was a thing.
That was a good show. That was a great show.
Hell yeah,
was
dude.
amazing.
Dude, that was, oh my god. So yeah, your guys' live set for that as well as the Battle of the Bands, like holy shit. So if you have not yet had the pleasure of checking out Malnourished, if you cannot tell from me fawning over them, they're definitely a band to check out live. So, but
My heart.
No, literally, we need some help. His heart.
Oh, shit, not again.
so let's take it back a little bit. So how did the band start?
Well,
That guy.
back in like 2014, I moved out to California because my family's out there, and California is not a good place to live unless you're rich. So I had like a few jobs. I was living in the attic. I was living in a crawl space in the attic of a warehouse in an industrial park, and it was $1,100 a month.
I was gonna say it's still probably playing like
And,
over $1,000.
I could, laying on my mattress, I could touch the wall, I could touch the storage, which wasn't mine, and then I could touch the ceiling, but there were rafters that came up, so I could hit my head on them every morning.
Oh, nice.
And that's what I paid. And I worked a lot. I had like a bunch of jobs at the same time. Plus, my dad was trying to open a recording studio, so I was working on that on my free time and working on the first album. And didn't have a band name yet. I was trying to figure out what to do. And I was 113 pounds and eating ramen out of I had a coffee pot. I would put the ramen in the coffee pot and cook it that way because I didn't have a stove.
God damn.
And I was like, man, I'm like malnourished. And I was like, I wonder if that's like a thing. And I'm like, but it's not like, I was like, I'm not just malnourished with food. Like I'm working. I'm malnourished with money, malnourished with like everything. Like I don't have, like malnourished means like what it means, like you don't have what you need to survive. And I was like, man, I wondered, like, that name's probably taken. And I looked it up, and it wasn't taken. I was like, what? So I registered it. It's copyrighted.
Dude, that's sick. Okay.
I was like, I don't know how that name wasn't taken by, like, everyone. There's another Malnourished now in Germany. They won't change their name. I don't think I think there's a language barrier there.
Well,
but
you guys are the best malnourished.
Those Germans are stubborn.
we did it first, so.
Dude, that's sick though. That actually is the substantial meaning behind that name. I'm not gonna lie. Our
But it's
band name
also-
does not mean nowhere near as meaningful.
It's also sick because he had scurvy the whole time.
I ate fruit sometimes. I ate
Once
what
a
I could
month.
get. Sometimes I would get like a piece of bread, like white bread, because it was like the dollar loaf, and I would eat a piece of bread and then drink some water, and it would like make me feel like I was full because I didn't have enough food to eat.
Oh my
It's like
God.
depressing
Right
to
on.
think about,
That's
but
so bad.
good times, good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's setting in the story. It's like really setting in, and we're just
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
I've been through some stuff. It wasn't that bad though. I got used to it.
It's terrible because he left to go to California, like literally to pursue music,
Jesus.
and then
Now
that's
I'm
how
back.
it played out.
Now I'm
back
back and
malnourished.
I live in a house.
There you go.
Like I eat food when I'm
He's
hungry.
got a stove now.
I'm at the 135.
There you go. That's a step up right
Still
there.
sleeps on the floor, but
Also, if anybody in California is trying to rent a closet, I'll rent out mine in Arizona for like $200 a month. That's a steal.
Wow.
That's a steal right there.
Yeah, is it a walk-in?
That'll be an extra 400.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
That's some space right there. I don't have that sort of space to just be giving away.
Can I get a lamp too if I move in?
Are you
Easy,
trying to
right?
pay electricity?
Battery
Like-
powered?
No.
Battery
Oh.
powered lamp. You can bring it in, but it has to be gone when you leave the
Yeah.
property.
Okay.
Because we rent out your closet when you go to work.
Yeah.
Fuck it. It's a deal.
Sick. You guys saw it on video. He agreed to rent my closet out $600 a month.
Wait, I thought it was 200.
Plus fees. Plus.
Oh, no, you hit the walk-in.
It's
it's walking.
Yeah.
It's walking.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
we,
walking.
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 yeah. I mean, technically.
Wait, so is Christopher Walken gonna sleep with me at night or no?
We can put an iPod in there with
Yeah,
some
I
of
was
his
gonna
best
say.
quotes.
I've got a printer.
You know what I, you know what I do with this
Walken.
watch? I stuck this watch up my ass.
So, as far as the new music goes, what was some of the writing process behind that?
Guitar Pro.
Hell yeah, same here.
They would send me like a riff, and I'd be like, "Damn, that's tasty. Let me mess with it a little bit." And then I'd go back and forth, bring it to practice. Maybe a section sucked, maybe it didn't suck. I'd change a section, and then like eventually the whole song's done. And then like 20 seconds before I went into the studio, I finished the lyrics because I'm terrible. Great Asylum was different. He came to me with a full, like, here's the lyrics, here's the rhythm, here's the whole drums recorded on my phone, just make something. So
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and then he'd scat the guitar parts.
yeah, he would
then
like
we
literally
used to
like
put
it's gonna
notes
go
to
to
it.
it.
God damn. Okay.
Even
yeah.
the bass solo, he's like it's gonna go boom 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 boom. I was like, because that's like whole tone diminished.
Just inscribing things on the ceiling above you.
Yeah, right. Literally just that meme. That fucking that fucking wall-sized whiteboard.
Yeah.
How you make prog, except with Grey Asylum.
How do metal?
Now we know, but definitely understand the whole Guitar Pro because that's how do everything these days.
It's honestly like the best thing for musicians
Yes.
nowadays.
You can make a riff, and then you can write it down and listen to it, and then go, what can I change? And you
Yeah.
can change it to be impossible, and then you can learn it.
Yup.
Because you can't
Yeah.
like just like, oh, let me just play this impossible. You have to like write it out and figure out what am I trying to do? Does it sound good? So when you're playing it and you're jamming, like of course it sounds good because you're like feeling it. But when you actually can listen back to it, you can actually be like get an actual judgment on it. It's hard though if you're narcissistic like me.
Well, sorry too if you have to do it
best song
because you have the looper pedal too, so you can always like play along to your
Oh,
stuff.
that's helpful.
That
But
thing-
yeah,
yeah,
but
but that
I don't
doesn't
have
help.
one, so when I have to write, it's just
Yeah, that's a
like,
distraction.
Yeah, that doesn't
Looper
help
pedal's a
me work.
distraction.
Yeah.
No work gets done with
I
that.
want a looper pedal though. They're so much fun. I don't have one.
So
though.
give us a timeline. What is this time period that you're talking about being in California, living in a crawl space?
Like 2.5 years. I just moved back like I moved 2 years ago. How old am I? I moved back when I was
16.
20, and I'm 23 now. I moved out there when I was 18, so I probably just lived there for like 2 years.
Okay.
And I've been back for 3.
Oh, so yeah, when you got back, how did everybody end up meeting up?
I knew him. Well, he was still in the military. I knew him from junior high.
We would just hang out sometimes. He like came back and be like, "Oh, I'm visiting from California." And be like, "Oh shit, dude, let's go like grab lunch or some shit." He'd be like, "I'm trying to start a band." I was like, "Oh no, I'm good." Because at the time I was like getting really into blues, because I was like actually like learning how to play.
Hell yeah.
And then so I just, what does that mean? Ow!
Yeah.
I was just kind of fucking around for a little bit.
Shots fired at all you metal musicians out there. Fuck you. Here's the
Play
blues.
real music.
I went around trying to find members. We had a different guitar. We had Alan from Scattered Guts who filled in for us. He was super cool, but like.
But it's funny how it happened because you messaged me saying, "Hey, do you want to join a band?" I'm like, "Sure," and you're like, "You've actually, we already got a guitarist." And I was like, "Okay, no worries."
I sent the message and then like went to a show and Alan was there and he's like, "You're looking for a guitarist? I can play." I was like, "Oh shit, all right," And Alan's a cool dude. Like, there's no bad blood or anything, but he's not in the band. He's like 100%, like 100% a thrasher. Like, if I've ever seen one. Like, so us playing like slow stuff and breakdowns, it's like I could tell it hurt him inside. Plus, his other band, because he had Black Phantom at the time too. I fucking loved that band, and I didn't want to ever get in the way of that.
Fair.
But yeah, we ended up getting Ryan, who's not in any bands right now, or he's in something something.
Abandon the
Conspiracy, but it's still being formed.
Okay.
We had him for a while, and then he got replaced with Dustin.
No, I played with him
Oh, you
because
played
that was
with
my
him?
first show was with him
We
and Max.
It was Narek was in the band first.
He was in the band,
And then his
They,
ass got kicked out.
Yeah.
Hey.
And then Ryan's ass got kicked out.
Oh shit.
And then Narek's ass came back.
Right, Narek got promoted at Chili's, and then
That's not even what happened. I didn't even work there.
The story's gonna end up.
Tell his story. Tell his story.
well,
This is getting good.
Yeah, let's
he
hear
was
it.
walking down the street and he's like, "Man, I wish I could do something really stupid. I think I'm gonna be nacho."
That sounds like Narek.
No, I can't. He had a lot going on. And like his other job was doing stuff, and he had other things with his other. Like he was trying to start a.
I had
ska
2 jobs.
band.
Oh no, I wasn't ever trying to do that. I was never trying to do that. I was just down to.
He just told you
Speaking
guys he
of
was
which,
starting a
if
ska band.
anybody's listening to this
But
and you want to start a ska band, I will.
He's gonna call it 411.
But yeah, then he was out for a while, and then he came back in because he's a cool dude. We give him shit. He's cool.
Oh no, I'll give you the real reason. It's cause Chris begged me.
Oh yeah, in my backyard.
I love you, Narek.
Yeah, because we used to like hang out at Roman's house like Saturday nights. It would be like us 4 and you remember Jonathan?
Which
Like Jonathan Hughes, he played in the Last of Ethos. Because we would all hang out because he was playing bass at the time, and he's like, "Man, it would be cool if you could be in the band." And I was like, "Shit, I'm down for that." So I talked to him. And he's like, "Yes, please, God, come back, please do it."
When he came back though, Narek you're God. I'm trying not to be all cheesy right now, but you fucking like came back strong. Like you brought back like stage presence went up. You started like buying good gear, taking everything seriously. And it, like, warmed my heart.
When I remember the first practice I played with you too, because they were like, "Yeah, he hasn't played the songs in a couple months, so it may take him time." And you just showed up with every song ready, and I was like, "Hell yeah, somebody who like actually gets shit done.
That's
I
fucking
can
pro.
work with this person."
Hell
And I was
yeah.
like, "Hell yeah."
This guy, when he went in the band, I
Because
sent
I'm
him
a
the-
psychopath.
I sent him the tabs, and the next day he was done.
Damn.
I have a weird thing where I just memorize numbers really easily.
Damn,
and
that works.
That's my secret.
Fucking Rain
That's
Man.
really all it
Insane.
is.
There's a video of this motherfucker like on Facebook playing the cover to, or he's covering Widowmaker by Black Dahlia, and you can see him like sight
yeah.
reading it.
Well,
He's
cause-
like staring at the computer, just like going through the solo, going through all this hard
That's
shit.
how I learned how
It's
to
just
play
like, fuck
guitar,
you.
though. Because that's how I learned was by watching other people play on-demand videos from Comcast. And I would write down the tabs. Yeah, and I would literally write down the tabs. So I had to like watch. So that's how I learned how to play, and that's why I like Guitar Pro too, because you just play along to it, and you can. I just learned how to sight read.
Man, I can't believe I sent him a song It didn't even make it on the album because we found out that one of the riffs I stole from junior high from Unearthed that I used to listen to. I saw them live and I was like, I guess we're not using that song.
Was that the one that was like?
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, oops. But there's a solo in there that I wrote on Guitar Pro, didn't jam it, just wrote it. And I was like, oh, it's impossible. I'm probably going to end up changing that. He shows up to practice. I sent him the songs at 11 p.m. He was already asleep. He woke up, went to work, went straight from work to band practice. I don't know how, but he played this solo.
He's fucking Rain Man.
Just
You
without...
goddamn animal.
He didn't look at it.
My name's Dustin for a reason. Dustin Hoffman.
I remember you were like emailing him to get him to join the band. He's like, there's no reason that somebody that good is not in a band. He's like, we are going to get him to join.
Honestly, I just never looked for a band back in Illinois. So when I moved to Arizona, I was like, because I've been playing guitar since I was like 10, 11 years old. I just never joined a band. Okay. Other than like a jam band back home. We were called the Well Hungarians.
Wait, have I never heard that?
I told you that before. We used to play in the basement.
Well, Hungarian.
We were called the Well Hungarians. But like other than that, I never really played in a band. So when I moved out here, I was like, fuck it, I got nothing else to do. Let's join a band.
Damn, dude, from well Hungarians to malnourished.
Yep. I'm not as well hung anymore.
How does that happen? Oh, never mind.
He got a little bit malnourished.
Surgery.
Circumcision.
It's a lot of foreskin.
I was only foreskin.
It was a 5-skin.
God damn. And so, at the moment, do you guys have somebody playing bass for you guys?
Yes.
As of like 2 weeks ago?
Oh, it's like the last like 8 months. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's true. Matt, who's been covering it for us for the past 50 years, is now a full-time member.
Sick.
You guys totally Jason Newstedted him, huh?
His decision, though.
Oh, okay.
Because he wasn't sure because he was playing with 2 other bands at the time.
3.
Oh, wow.
So he was helping us out during shows mostly.
Black
Right.
Phantom, Scattered Guts, Warhead now.
He wasn't. Oh, I thought it was.
And
Yeah, I forgot about Warhead.
Warhead, he plays drums though, not bass.
Oh, yeah.
Sick.
He's doing good. He's like, when it comes, he was the first person when our other bassist left. It was like, I'm asleep. I wake up. I look at this text on the phone. I was like, drama. Hey Matt, how fast can you learn songs? He's just fast. Give me the tabs. Boom. That was it.
Oh, yeah, he had like 2 weeks to learn a set list because the bassist had like just quit. Like we were like, we had like already accepted a show. We were like practicing. We were getting ready to play it. And he's like, I'm not going to play it. It's like, all right. And then we get a text from him. He's like, yep, Matt's going to play it. He shows up to practice, knew like all the songs already. It was almost like him, but on bass.
Matt did triple duty at that show. He played in 3 bands that night. And they weren't right after, so he had to take his bass rig off, put it back on, take it off, put it back on. Like,
No, he's just like a true professional. Like
Yeah.
he puts in the work.
yeah.
He just goes home and he does what he's got to do and he shows up to practice and he has it ready. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he's a good dude.
He's got 2 jobs right now.
He's actually right here.
4 bands.
Actually,
In spirit.
yeah, we love you, Matt. Well, he's not dead, but I don't know why I did that.
He's dead to us for not making the podcast.
Hey, Matt, if you're listening, you're dead to us.
Just kidding. We know you had to work.
You're still dead to me.
Oh, my God. So, also, Nerigo was going to mention, new gear recently.
Oh yeah, I just bought a Kiesel. It's the 6-string. Oh god, I'm not a guitar nerd, so like I don't know all the
he is.
specs.
Well, it's got
But it's got
frets.
it's
a
24
6-string
frets,
Aries.
6 strings.
called an
It's
Aries.
purple. No,
It's
got
the
like
jelly.
It's
What's
got like
it
the
called?
master grade
Jelly
Pale Moon
something
Ebony
burst?
fretboard. It's raspberry jam finish.
Raspberry
That's
jam
what it's
finish.
called.
KY
Sounds
edition.
delicious.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah, I was
like
gonna
so
say,
it's
it
like
sounds
plain
tasty.
maple and it's got
It
like
doesn't taste that good.
it's mostly
Master
purple, but
grade.
it's got like darker streaks through it. It's a beautiful guitar. You'll see it on the 23rd if you see us open for Elysian.
Master
Ooh.
grade, Pale Moon Ebony
Oh,
fretboard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
We had this conversation. Yes, I forgot about that.
It's beautiful.
It's the only thing I want.
It's so nice. Like you see it in person. If you spent twice as much on the guitar on like a camera, just so you could capture it, because you can't. It's
This is the part
so
where we put a
beautiful.
picture of your guitar on the video right now.
Oh, it's so nice. When you look at it,
Yeah.
it's almost like holographic. Like when you like the grain is like deep. Like I don't know how they did their finish. Oh, it's beautiful.
He gets more excited over that.
I love guitars.
To be fair though, I woke up one day at like 10 in the morning. I stay up till like 7 or 8. So I wake up like I would like 3 hours of sleep. My dog's like going fucking ape shit at the window. I'm so mad. I'm like so mad because this bitch just woke me up from like a solid half sleep. I look out the window, see she's barking. I see this guy carrying a guitar case. Then like I'm joining her, like also freaking out at the window because I'm like, holy shit, like it's finally here. Because mind you, like I ordered this thing in like May. I mean, I had to wait like 2.5 months for it to get there. And like as soon as you open the door, I'm like tears running through my eyes, like exciting for it.
my God.
I like pop it on the floor, like immediately. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do an unboxing video, do all this shit. No. As soon as I had it like in my arms, I like cut the box open, opened it up, plugged it into my amp. And I jammed on it for like 6 hours straight.
Oh yeah.
It's a beautiful
Fishman
thing.
pickups. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Are those?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been able to play a guitar with Fishmans. What do you think compared to other pickups?
Sharp. They're
Yeah.
like
Imagine EMGs, but like
Not
none of the
fuzzy.
bad things about EMGs.
Oh damn.
and it's the new ones. They're passive and active, like but true bypass. So when you do the coil tap, it just switches it so you don't have to use your battery. You can
that's
get the
neat.
raw stuff. You can click it on for like because I think leads through actives kind of sound better just 'cause of compression. But you can just switch it on and off. So when he's doing rhythm stuff, it's just like switch it to passive. Or if he just wants an aggressive rhythm, he can switch back and forth. Like it sounds so nice. Like pinches on active.
Larry,
Like
did you know you could do this with your guitar?
I knew I could do all this stuff, but I never do any of that stuff. I use the actives all the time. Just only use the actives because it just sounds better. I mean, I don't know. We play aggressive music. I'm not turning the actives off.
Yeah, we don't really have any soft parts, so I guess you can keep it aggressive.
Hell yeah. Well,
I'm glad I have your permission to
Except
do that.
in Follow the Leader, it gets a little soft.
There's that one spot.
Yeah.
That one spot in that one song.
Just a teensy bit.
Well, speaking of getting soft,
yeah, we're gonna get
that's
a little
not
bit soft
me.
here and go to a commercial break. So we will be right back after these words from videos.
And we'll be super hard when we get
This is the world I found. It's never ending torture. It feels to relate. It's all a lie. Contemplating the suicide desire. Falling from grace. Forsaken the home of your pride.
Hey guys, we are back. All right, so we are gonna
great crowd
jump
response.
right. This audience is insane. Let's see some movement.
start this fucking pit.
Yeah.
So let's jump back into it with some stories. Let's hear some stories.
He's got a good
from you
story.
guys.
Wow. Best story.
Instantly. Yeah.
Because you've only said 3 words so far. We want to hear from you.
When I lost my mother.
Tell us
for myself.
about the
Go
story
for
about how
another.
your life got flipped, turned upside down.
All right, well,
Oh wow.
Everybody take a moment and just sit right down.
boom, 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 boom.
You're moving with your auntie and uncle to Bel Air. I love Breaking Bad.
Okay, so what kind of stories are we talking? Tour story, show story.
So there is we don't have to jump straight into it. There's a great story that Roman has prefaced to me beforehand that I definitely would want to cover. But let's just jump into it. We don't have to start with that story. We can just start with various interesting stories that you guys have had as a band individually. It could be just what you did at work last week. But let's see.
All right, I think he should tell the watermelon story.
The
'Cause
watermelon
that's just
story.
fucking funny.
That's the greatest. They still talk about that to this day. Every year,
I'm
apparently. Like
intrigued.
it's like
Set
so-
the bar high. Set the bar high.
when I was in high school, it was finals week. You know, it was the last day of school, my final, and I was always a crazy dude. You know, everyone knew I was crazy. I was that metal kid. I was voted most metal in high school. I'm proud of that. But then
Are you sure it didn't say mental?
it was like pre-calc. I don't know how I passed that class, but anyways, we we went in for the last day, you know, doing our final stuff, and our teacher's like, okay, anyone who needs to go to the bathroom, go right now. And I was like, I don't need to go, whatever. And she goes, and now pull out all your snacks and stuff for the final. I was like, we get snacks? Like, what? And she's like, I thought I told you guys. I was like, oh, okay, I need to go to the bathroom. So I got up, went out, and like the second the door closed, sprinted full force, jumped up the light pole over the fence, across the street. Like there's like a little plaza, and at the end of the plaza there's a Food City. I ran into the Food City, bought a watermelon and 2 energy drinks, and like ran. I was Kyle. I bought 2 monsters. Like,
Oh no.
I ran back before I got back, like climbed back over the wall, everything, like with my grocery bag of watermelon and energy drinks. Got back into class before people had got back from the bathroom. Like, come into class, I had this melon. I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'm gonna eat this, like, awesome, got a melon, whatever. But I couldn't open it. I didn't have any spoon or anything. So I, like, grabbed my thumb like that and then just, like, hammered it in to make a hole. And then I ripped the melon in half with my hands.
Wait, you hammered your own thumb inside
Like,
of a watermelon?
Yeah, I just, like, put it like that and then just until the tip went in and made a little hole.
That's
and then
what she said.
I had to hammer it in. It was too tight. I ripped the melon in half, and then I fucking grabbed I just ate it with my hands. I was left-handed, so I just, you know.
Taking this final.
But they were, like, blown away. They were like, what is going on, dude? I was like, you said I could have snacks. I got a melon. I passed the final, but, like, apparently every year she tells that story, like, oh, I had this guy, Roman, who got this melon. Like, people, like, I'm, like, a local legend over at that school. Like, you're the melon guy. Like, I posted something and someone, like, commented, like, I'll never forget that melon. Like, it's like, it's been 5 years. Like,
Nice melon, dude.
Oh my god.
No, I think we went to a show once. I think it was like Revocation, and then like some girl came up to us who was like, "Are you Roman?" Like he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you the melon guy that like whatever teachers like told us about?"
See, everybody hopes that they're going to be known for their music, you know,
Yeah.
some athletic accomplishments.
No.
But goddamn, Roman is known for that goddamn melon
Yes.
story.
Roman is the only one of them that won't live a melancholy life.
he just fruit out there.
You just fruit it out there.
I don't get that one.
It's called a pun.
You gotta slow it down. I'm not that smart.
Dude, all I'm thinking about is like the mess you made.
Yeah, right?
I kept it in the grocery bag so that
Oh,
the juice.
smart man, smart man.
Yep. Hey,
Recycling.
if he's using his thumb to crack a melon, I guess I shouldn't have fucking second
Yeah.
guessed him that he used the grocery bag to keep the mess.
Of course.
And yeah.
The man's using his melon.
This is getting
That
good.
was a good one.
All right, so
Through the loom.
are you filling your story as well? You wanna share yours?
And it has to be
Are we
better
sharing
than
you
his.
for last? Are we saving you for last?
Yeah, no pressure.
No pressure.
All
It's
the
like the
pressure.
best show story we have.
The best show story. Okay. It was, what was it, Solstice?
Yeah.
Solstice last year, May 11th.
Oh, he knows. He asked us like he didn't have it memorized.
10 days before my birthday.
It's on his hand.
First band on
Right there. Oh
6:30,
shit, it kind of rubbed off a little bit. It was, so we were playing Solstice. I was just getting ready to transition into sober life. So it was like a very hard 4 years. I can go more into that later. But I had gotten to the point where it had everything that I was doing all together. I'll say that I'm a former addict and alcoholic. So my drug of choice was cocaine and alcohol. But it got to the point where my body was starting to shut down.
Jesus.
And like I had no control over it, and like I didn't know what the fuck was happening.
Yeah.
So like my mental started to go. My physical started to go. Like everything about me was just like, man, this guy's fucking dead. So I ended up in the hospital with pancreatitis for a week and a half.
Ooh, fun.
And I missed band practice and all this shit, and it started getting in the way. And then I got out of the hospital, and then like 3 days later, we were playing the show. We were opening for Solstice, and I wake up that morning with the same horrible pain that I had from the pancreatitis all over again. And I'm like, holy fuck, this is happening. Like, I'm done. Because the first time I had gone in, they're like, you might have a tumor in your pancreas. Whew. So they were running all these tests and like CAT scans, and they're like, we don't know what's going on with you. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, fuck, this is it. So same pain that morning, and everybody's telling me like, you have to go to the hospital. Like, I'm not going to the hospital. We're playing a show tonight. So I
Dedicated.
Yeah. And how old are you at this time?
23.
You're 23 when it happened, yeah?
Yeah, I was 23. We get to Club Red, and the pain is so bad, it was worse than the previous week. It was like a 12 out of 10. Like, I'm like, fuck, I don't know what's happening to me. I'm actually laying on the ramp to the small stage, and people are just like, fuck it, and they're like carrying equipment over me to get it on stage. And like,
Jesus.
I could get up a little bit of vomit, but it was just like whatever little bit of like stomach acid was like in me, and it just burnt coming up. It hurt even more.
Yep.
I couldn't hold down water. And Kim, the promoter of 13th Floor Entertainment, shout out, we love you.
Shout out to Kim.
She asked, she's like, hey, do you guys want to, like, no hard feelings, nothing, but like, you should probably take him to the hospital. Like, you don't have to play. And I'm like, no, we're playing. And even he's just like, dude, you don't have to do this.
Oh yeah, we were begging him. We were begging him to not play.
Yeah, like it was like,
Jesus.
but I'm like, no, we're gonna play this show. I'm like, we'll get on stage, and if anything, I'll just stop, even if we get a song done. And we start our set, and we're going, and we get to our very last song, and I like kind of blacked out on stage.
Jesus
And I missed my sample hit
Yeah.
on the sample pad, and Roman like turns around and he goes, we're getting off stage now. And then like I hit the sample, and the song continued, and we finished our song. And then like as soon as like it ended, like that was our last song for the whole set. Like Narek put his guitar down, Roman fucking dropped his mic, and my brother Eric like rushed up onto the stage, and they like carried me into the car because I was just done.
Yeah.
And they like rushed me to the ER, and the ER is packed, and I'm in so much pain. Like I'm crying, like I'm screaming, and like the ER is fucking packed. And they're like, oh shit, this guy's like for real. It's like everybody else, oh, I got this fucking cold, and then I'm like going to urgent care, blah, 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 whatever.
Wait your turn, wait your turn.
Yeah, so it's like, and then people are giving me these dirty looks, like, oh, what the fuck's this, like, whatever, you're just trying to, it's like, no. So they brought me back, and they did all these blood tests and, like, everything, and they're like, they come back, and they're like, yeah, you have appendicitis. I'm like, oh. Okay, so it's not my pancreas, it's my appendix. And then, like, the doctor comes in, and he's explaining to me, he's like, you should have been here this morning when it first started, and you're overdue for it to rupture.
Right.
Oh God. Dude.
So that was going to be one of my questions was the pain you were experiencing part of the withdrawal or what? But since you just mentioned that, then was it primarily the appendicitis? Like it had to come out?
The pain was mostly the appendicitis.
Yeah.
I don't know. The withdrawal sucked, but I think the pain is what got to me more. It kind of like diverted my attention to like whatever was going on in my head.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. This is where Great Asylum came from. I was in the Navy, and I fucking hated it. Like, I fucking hated my life. I went to the hospital 4 times because the officers on our ship kept overhearing me say, like, I'm gonna go home and fucking kill myself tonight. Like, I would go into our boatswain's mate room and like tie nooses, and like this is all happening in my head. Like, I'm just doing this shit, like not really realizing like, oh wow, people are like noticing this, whatever. I would drink from sunrise to sunset, and every week it got progressively worse, and we would go on underways, and like I would just withdraw hard fucking core, and like I I started to get delusional, and we got this new guy on our ship. Nice guy, whatever. Like, his orders got fucked up, and he got sent to our ship, and he was supposed to go somewhere else. But just because he was so nice and whatever, like, in my head, I legitimately thought that he was in the NCIS, and he was out to get me.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Like, that's how rough it got. So I got admitted for that. Because, like, it got out, like, hey, Connolly's making up all this shit, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And I think it was that, and, like, going out to sea and, like, being awake for, like, days at a time with, like, minimal sleep, like 1-2 hours, like, maybe a night.
Yeah.
And, like, just that, and then, like, shaking from not being able to drink. And, like, because I always got, like, paranoid, like, I can't get drunk on the ship.
Right.
You know? But, like, that got bad. And then there was finally one time where I got admitted, and they told me, you can't be on your ship anymore. You're a danger to yourself. I wasn't allowed to go out on underways, so I had to report to an onshore command whenever my ship went out. And I had to go to mandatory therapy sessions for like 2 weeks. So I had to stay at the Naval Hospital in Norfolk. And I had to do all that. And then they I never told them that I was drinking. It was just like more of a mental thing. But it had started, like, I started to feel like a certain type of way, like, before I started hitting the bottle really hard. And I think it was just me and this guy had gotten into a huge fucking fallout. And that's when he had moved to California. I was being an asshole. I was just discovering the party life and, you know, getting into it. And I kind of, like, lost touch in reality. So, like, I gave up music. I sold my fucking drum set. I pissed off a lot of people around me, and then I joined the Navy because I thought it would be the best thing for me. And then once I actually got in, I didn't have music, I didn't have my friends, I didn't have my family. And then once I got to my ship, it was like the worst fucking ship that you could have been put on at the Norfolk base. Like, statistically speaking, worst fucking ship.
Damn, the perfect storm.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, so it's like I got out, and then I had really, really gotten bad into coke. Every paycheck went towards it. It became obsessive. My mind started to go even more, and I just, fuck, man, it was bad. Like, I would do it on camera.
Damn,
I worked at Waffle House out in AJ, so it was like perfect. But like, yeah, that got in the way. I would skip out on bar tabs at bars and just go to another one.
Oh man.
I would go to Walmart and like steal bottles and like, I mean, who the fuck hasn't done that? But it's like just now looking back on it,
Not gonna publicly admit to it.
Correct.
it's like, I mean, I go there and shop now, and you know, I put pennies in the little donation thing.
Give it back.
I'm giving back. Sorry, Walmart.
After about 600 donations, you'll be paid off.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, no, it, like, horrible time.
Yeah.
That whole thing with the hospital that day when we played with Solstice, it was just kind of like, I'm fucking done. Like, I have to be done. I was gonna get kicked out of Malnourished.
Yeah.
If it,
We all look at Roman like, can you confirm this?
Couldn't play shows and it was getting in the way like that. It was like I try to be like cold business, whatever. Like, I still have my friends and stuff, but it's like, if you can't play shows, you can't really, it's still like ground zero. It's like a business, you know, as much as it's a family too. Like, and these are my brothers, like, it's,
And sisters.
you can't have someone not show up to work, you know?
Yeah. No, it's a business, but it's a family business.
But
Yeah.
you had that moment.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And leading from that, because you had mentioned with that with Grey Asylum, you had mentioned that it segues into Grey Asylum. Let us know a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when I was going through all those therapy sessions and everything, I I was like, fuck it. Like, because they had told me, okay, we're going to release you from the military. Like, you're going through too much right now. Like, you obviously can't handle it. So I was honorably discharged. And I can't be more blessed because, like, I could have really fucked myself.
Yeah.
Like, I really could have. And, like, I don't know how, like, I didn't get in trouble just because, like, people, like, noticed, like, dude, like, something is wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
So I sat down every therapy session and just started jotting down, like, how I felt. So, like, I thought about the way that he would write music and just, like, dig very deep into it. So I'm just like, whoa, what is the Navy to me? It's the gray asylum. Like, there's no way out.
Dude, okay.
Because ships are deck gray. They're very dark. It's fucking, like, there's no atmosphere. So the very opening line is trapped inside the gray asylum that holds you in all of its lies. It's like you're told you're going to get this and that and you're going to see the world and everything's going to be fine and dandy, but it's all a fucking lie.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, that's really cool that you could turn it into something artistic like that
Yeah.
and express your emotions at the same time. That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Did the Navy experience exacerbate the problems for you? Just made it worse going into it? Yeah. So it was just like it was a 5 and amplified to a fucking 10.
Oh, yeah.
Just being there. Yeah.
He was telling me that he would go out, the ship was gray, the skies were gray because it was overcast, which would make the sea gray, and people would get excited if they saw a bird fly.
God damn, dude. That's insane. But yeah, you never really think about it, but an experience like that, I mean, yeah, that is the pure monotony of being on the sea. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. That's not for everybody.
You said you had mentioned underways. Is that like going out or?
Yeah, it's just going out.
Okay.
I never hit a deployment. We just went on a lot of underways. So,
Okay.
like, we'd go out for a week, come back for a week, go out for a week, come back. And then, like,
how they build up to it.
yeah. And then, like, I mean, I can't go into any of that.
Yeah,
It's whatever, but we would go out for, like, a month at a time sometimes, and it would just be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. And, like, everybody felt the same. Like, it wasn't just me. Like, I wasn't the only one going to the hospital and, like, seeing therapists and whatnot. Like, there was actually, like, a whole case at the time. Like, people were, like, feeling some type of way. Like, our CO was, like...
Yeah. And that's what you were talking about earlier, how it was, like, statistically one of the worst that you could be on.
Yeah,
that had something to do with it.
They had, like, this PowerPoint in one of the halls on base, and they had, like, 4 ships show up. And I didn't go because this was when I was reporting to that onshore command. And I guess a lot of people came back from the PowerPoint that they had up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, our ship. It's we've had like the most sexual harassment cases, the most suicides, the most this and that." And I'm just like, that explains a lot, and it's because they don't really care about morale. It's like once they have you in, they have you. They don't have to give a shit about you.
God damn.
Wow. Yeah, I knew we should have fucking saved his for last. Shit.
Well, dude, that's gotta be some fucking PowerPoint presentation. But by the way, all these shitty things on this board, yeah, we're number 1 for all of them.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, number 1. God damn. So
Now that the mood's lighting up.
So when did you get done with all that? And you were home.
August 2017.
Okay. And then joined the band, and then the appendicitis. Was all
So
that?
August 2017, I got out. I came back here. I had bought a drum set in Virginia and had it shipped out over here, so it took like a month. But I'm like, Roman, I got my drums coming, bro. Please let me join your band. He's just like, my drums finally came, and I would spend half a paycheck on drugs and then the other half on cymbals, because I'm like, okay, I got a double kick set and all this shit, and like, okay, I gotta build all this up. So like I was fucking broke. Like a lot of the times I would just resort to like snorting pills just to try and get some type of high, but like even that got to the point where it's just like, oh my god, like I'm throwing up. I'm like, it just, but yeah, it.
And then this show and the appendicitis. When was that?
That
That was May.
last year.
Yeah, May of last year.
Last year,
2018.
Yeah, so it progressively got worse up until that show. everything.
Wait, so when I joined the band, you were only like 2 months sober?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew you were sober at the time, but I didn't realize it was like that recent.
Yeah.
Because I remember you guys talking about that show and everything. I was like, oh, damn, that's crazy. But it felt like ages and ages
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
In a
It
long
felt-
time.
It kind of was. A lot's happened, you know,
Yeah.
so it just felt like a long time. It's crazy to think we're on, like, what, show 13? We've only
Lucky
played
number
13
13?
shows. Yeah.
We're only going to play 13 shows.
You heard it here first, guys.
Bad omens.
Easy, Nostradamus.
I prefer Play-Doh. Like playing with Play-Doh.
This is how I concoct my visions. Eric, you got a story for us?
Oh God, I wish. I'm probably the most boring person in this band.
Neric's great.
Tell him about the time you climbed Flatiron.
Oh yeah, that was with him.
Yeah.
I see his game.
that
Well,
was-
he wants a story with him in it.
That's not really. I don't know if that's a story.
It's not.
Where's your story, guy?
You're up. Well, you see, I was doing her doggy style when Grandma walked in.
Oh, man.
Grandma walked in and took her teeth out and started blowing me. I was like, "Whoa, Grandma, get off my dick!" And yeah,
I hope your grandma never sees this.
it's okay. They're both dead.
Let's take a break, hit our sponsor real quick. We'll come back and finish
We're going to
the
finish
other
up
two
Eric's story in
stories.
just a
Yeah.
second.
Like
All right.
always.
So I don't know if this is going to be on camera, but we just did a clap and Eric was completely fucking off.
Way to go,
Can't
Eric.
believe I'm in a band.
Way to go, Derek.
It was
That's
jazz.
why we turn him down.
Dude,
It's
real
true.
quick, I've been turned down on stage before and it was fucking, so I blew
What'd you
one of
tell
my-
her?
So,
Was it my grandma from the last one?
He pointed to a chick and she's like,
my girlfriend's not happy. But I blew a tube on stage, and it was the one that controls my distortion. Luckily, I have my overdrive pedal with me. But fucking Jeff from Hotto was fucking mixing us that night. And Jeff was just like, oh, so yeah, we was listening to you guys, and like it was weird. Like I thought that you just had a clean guitar solo. At first, I was just like, oh, that's cool. But then after the solo, you kept playing clean. I realized it probably wasn't just on purpose. So I went ahead and turned you down.
Oh,
So yeah, thank you, Jeff. But
Jeff is
yeah.
great. He's one of the better sound guys. Like, whenever we had like 2 shows with him, and I was like surprised. I would scream, and I'm like,
I can hear
Sounds
myself.
amazing. Sounding like God.
my PA in practice space is blown, so I don't get to actually hear if I'm making
damn.
progress or not until we play a show, and I'm like, wow, I've gotten better.
So, Nick, are you ready for your story?
I guess. Mine doesn't hold a candle to either of theirs. But I'll just talk about the first time we ever like went out of the valley to play a show.
Good
So we went to
times.
Kingman to play with Dead of Winterfest.
Oh hell yeah.
I heard their scene's so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, actually.
Gage from Oppressor God is like,
Shout out.
yeah, every
Oppressor
time I
God,
see him, he's
fucking-
like, dude, Kingman.
Yep,
Telling
Kingman's
you, man.
fucking where
I'm
it's
telling
at.
you. And then
But-
I'll look at the show lineup. I'm like, oh, dude, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, I
But
know
yeah.
they like fucking love Ipraya.
Oh.
I love Ipraya.
we
But you were
fucking-
saying.
we all like meet up in the morning. We had to take 3 cars because we're like not equipped
We were not
vehicle wise
tour
for a
ready.
band yet. But so we all leave at 11. You know, we get out on the highway. And you know, we're chilling, having a good time. We're all like singing, you know, having like karaoke sessions in the car and shit. Then all of a sudden, like I blow out a tire, like on the freeway. Like as soon as we finally like make it out of the city, we're just like, oh fuck yeah, awesome. So I call them. I call like Roman and our buddy John, who has the truck with all their shit in it. We're like, yo, we blew a tire. It's like, you guys should stop, like chill with us for a bit. He's like, all right, where you guys at? We're like, oh, we're with the 51 out in Phoenix. He's like, we're like an hour and a half away from there. And we're like, oh, that's weird. And it's like, you shouldn't be that much farther. We found out they went to fucking, like, where were you? Like Sierra Vista or some shit?
What's the We went the opposite direction.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they went
Oh,
south.
no.
Oh,
no.
So we were like almost to Tucson.
Holy shit.
I was like north or south. I was like,
Wait, we're supposed to go east?
It's
I
like,
thought
wait,
you said
east
west.
or west. We're going north. I was like, I'm got a 50-50 chance. Let's see.
Wait. Just to clarify, was this back in 2002 or was this after GPS was created?
This was like
No, this
8
was
months
earlier
ago.
this year.
Oh, this is like what the fuck happened?
What's the excuse?
He printed out the directions on paper in case our internet went out. I was like, oh fuck, I don't need my GPS. I got the directions right here. I was like,
Oh my
it was
God.
like the 10. I was
Little
like,
did we know he didn't know which direction north was.
I don't know if well, it was east. You had to go east, or you had to go west.
Yeah, that's why you messed up.
I went east because east is north apparently.
Yeah. Apparently.
I don't know. I don't go to Phoenix a lot. So shit. I didn't go that day.
No, and you guys stayed in the hotel overnight, and then Matt and I just drove back screaming to System of a Down the entire time.
Dude, he was actually
Yeah.
happy. But
3-hour
that's probably
drive.
why he was like, "Oh, I'll join your."
Yeah.
It was all
'cause of
because of
me.
Dustin.
So you blew a tire.
Yeah. You
And
know, we
he's an
call
hour and a
them.
half
We
away.
find out they're like 2 hours away. So we're like stressing the fuck out because we're like, okay, we're going to be late because our set time had gotten moved up like 3 hours earlier. We're like, okay, we're all going to be late. So we like pull over to get a discount tire. We get all my tires changed. You know, there's still like, I don't even think they were caught up to us by the time we left. No. Because we beat them there by like an hour. Fucking somehow. So we stop, we
I
go.
paid for gas.
That's Roman's redeeming quality for this story.
We
He
had a
paid for
truck
gas.
and a U-Haul trailer, so I paid for a lot of gas.
Well, yeah, we'll
Party
cut
foul.
that part out.
And we're back.
Whoa, that was a weird jump cut.
Yeah, somebody spilled water over here, but you guys just cut.
Yeah, it must have been from the previous podcast or something.
But I
God
just
damn it,
saw you
Eric.
do it, and then you said
Oh.
cut.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
I'm
The
confused.
magic. The magic.
Oh, I'm a
You're
film
ruining
student. I
it.
remember movie magic. I heard of that.
It's
I know what
actually
this
a
is.
picture of it, really close to the camera that we moved over.
Holy shit. So did they end up getting there?
Oh, yeah, of course. No, so like we get back on the road and we're like going for an hour. Then he calls me because I think it was you.
Yeah,
two?
we got there 2.5 hours before everybody
Yeah.
else, and we're just walking
They're like,
around.
where the fuck are you guys? We're like, oh yeah, we blew out a tire. Roman drove to Mexico. I was like, we'll be there soon. So like eventually we do get there, and then it started raining, and the most beautiful thing happened because we all live in the valley, and it snowed a little bit, but really it was sleet because
It was hail.
it was
It was
30.
hail.
No, it was too soft to be hail.
Okay, it wasn't soft to me. It was like it's like
Because you're
someone's-
sensitive, Roman.
That's why you're the vocalist.
My stage banner was like, "It's fucking cold. Let's get in this pit so you can warm up." Oh my god.
Roman, you're also 115 pounds. If there's a slight breeze, we'll lose you.
16.
Oh.
Meanwhile, me and him were like running blocks around the fucking venue so our fingers don't like die on us.
Oh,
We can
God,
play all these
Jesus.
songs live.
Screaming
Oh, it was
and like
so
having
bad.
like cold air, like honestly though, as much as it was like 5 people at that show, everyone bought merch that was there. Like all 5 people in the crowd bought merch. Like 2 chicks bought like, they're like, oh, you have 3 types of patches? We'll take them. Oh, we'll take a t-shirt. Oh, CDs are free. Here's $10. Like they like loaded, like the fans out there, like they love metal. Like we want to go back. We
Yup.
just have to figure out how to
Same.
not go to Mexico.
Well, step 1, go the right direction.
play an indoor venue. It's in winter. Play an indoor venue.
Yeah. As a guitarist, I definitely agree with that one.
It was fun. It was fun.
It was honestly that was like a fun, the whole like just trip. That was great. That was so
Yeah,
fun.
as terrible and as like catastrophic as it was great. It was a wonderful time.
And then, Dustin, so do you have a story for us?
I got plenty of stories, but I'll try to make it quick.
Oh, do you have one that won't get you kicked out of the band?
Yes, I got a funny one
Only a
from
few.
my first job. So I worked at a bowling alley, and we had laser tag, and obviously it's dark in the laser tag, and it's like pitch black and whatnot, but they have lights so things glow in the dark. and a kid shit himself in the laser tag. And other kids stepped in it and tracked it throughout the laser tag. And part of it glue in the dark.
Oh my god.
Yo, did you have to clean that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, thank God.
Another thing that happened, I think it was before I was working there. Another kid shit himself in the bowling alley.
What are they paying these kids?
Yeah, right.
I made the food. It's probably why I don't work there anymore. But so this other kid shits in his pants. It runs down into the shoes, and we had that cosmic bowling, so it gets really dark. The mother or father or whoever felt horrible, so they put it up on the counter and didn't tell anybody.
That's worse.
Yeah.
So somebody grabbed the shoes, our manager, and just went, "What the fuck was that?" And then like ran to the bathroom, scrubbed her hands off because she was like, "That's shit."
Yeah.
It's like, that's actual shit.
Oh God. So I've got a split-second story kind of going off of that one. So I used to work at an unnamed sex store, and while I was working there, I was a manager, so I had to handle returns. This chick, she comes in and she's returning a certain adult toy, and our policy is if it breaks, then yeah, we'll return it. No, if it's broken when you buy it, then we'll return it. So I have to battery check it to see if it works. So I put a battery in it, and as I'm asking her, I look her in the face, and I'm like, "Hey, do I need to put gloves on for this?" Because at this point, I'm pretty fresh to being a manager, haven't done returns before, and didn't know. Just assume you need to wear gloves.
Of course, she's gonna say no.
So she says no, of course.
Yeah.
So I put the battery in, and I tested the first one. It doesn't work. Cool, we're gonna return that. Test the second one, and as I'm taking the battery out, I'm putting the toy down, and it clings to my finger a little bit. And I'm like, that's odd. A fresh toy shouldn't do that. Yeah. So it finally slips out of my hand there, and then I look up at her, and I say, "Hey, ma'am, so I just want to clarify. Before I touched this toy, this potentially used toy, did I need to wear gloves for this?" And she's like, "No, of course, you didn't need to wear gloves. I only used it once." Oh. And so at that point in time, I put down the toy. I run to the bathroom. I put my hands under scalding hot water. I walk back out. I return her toy and say, "Get out of my store."
And I said, "Bitch."
But yeah, that just slightly reminded me of that. But,
That's gross.
Did it glow in the dark?
You know what? I was horrified I didn't try. But I should have, knowing that I would have had a podcast a couple years later and could have compared stories.
Yes.
So that was a fuck up on 19-year-old me. But let's talk about your guys' first album.
Oh, so I was in the warehouse, struggling, learning to hate people. I used to be I'm a pretty happy guy, but I used to be like, I was a happy fucking guy. Like I was like I get punched in the face and be like, you probably an accident, you know, and like, but like going through that like made me like understand the bitterness of the world. And when I wrote that whole album was basically like I'm kind of mad at rich people, beginning to end. Like every song, like the first song is about them cutting arts to schools, and then like it's like it kills people, dude. Music suffers, like modern music suffers when kids don't learn to make music at a young age, you know. So that's something that matters, and it's also about following. Oh, it's gonna get cheesy. It's about following your dreams. When I say we are all gods suppressed by our ignorance. That's basically saying, like, when you look at someone on stage and you're like, wow, they're like a god to me. That's basically like saying, like, you look at them like, oh, it's maybe, you know, my deepest dreams, I could get there someday, but you can if you work hard, like, and you know exactly what you're doing, like, so you can reach that, like, godhood. Suppressed by our ignorance, again, people tell you every day, oh, when you're in a band, you know, it's not gonna... You know, it's a really low chance. And it is a low chance, but modern music is more about the strategy behind it and the work ethic than it is chance. You don't play a bar show and have some guy, oh, I'm from Hollywood. Like,
Here's
you know?
$1 million.
So it's
Mr.
like,
Moneybags, take it.
the second album, or the second song, straight up calling for an army to take over the world.
Hell yeah.
Third song... The third song's the only one that didn't really fit. It was just about my experience working fast food. Did not have a good time. Would not recommend. But basically the whole theme of the album, like Crimson Shield, Corrupt Bankers, 1 Pound of Flesh, it's about being crippled by debt. Acerbic System basically summarizes the entire album. That's why I said at the end. Final Referendum, which we don't really play live. We have like a clip of it from an intro. That song's about voting and choices being shitty.
See, isn't it? It's crazy to me that people are always just like, oh yeah, metal. It's all screaming. Like there's no talent. Like there's no real message. Fucking look at that. Look at that.
Don't get me wrong, I love a song that's just like, this song's about cutting someone's head off. It's like, great.
Whoa.
But some...
Whatever, you're over here in a Cannibal Corpse shirt.
But
Actually, Butchered at Birth is very political. I don't know if you know this.
sometimes when it's got meaning behind it, you can like get behind it a lot more, and you can you can pick it apart. You don't have to pick it apart. You can say that's a good song. I don't know what it's about. He's just the whole time, but it's like when you get that and it's like, oh, you find out it's something like that, it's inspiring, you know. Oh, yeah. And I like to put meaning in my lyrics. I don't like empty, like nothingness. But that whole album was sparked from starving while working like multiple jobs at the same time, and then still after all that scraping by with the bare minimum, I was upset. And so that was all my lyrical inspiration on the first album, and it kind of carries over. It's in our band name, it's in our history, it's going to be in the next album, it's going to be probably in every album. But yeah,
Speaking of the second album though, like fucking give us a sales pitch on that second album.
The second album. There's this game that musicians have to play. It's called Is It Good or Am I Narcissistic? And it's such a hard game. I've been listening to the album over and over and over, and it's good. And I'm like, man, am I that self-centered or is it actually good? Like,
what do you guys think? It's actually good?
It is good.
It is good.
Okay, cool. He's not being narcissistic.
It is good.
Well, I mean, Roman said he might have been narcissistic, so I want to get some other opinions on this.
Are you guys also narcissistic?
Well, the way I look at it, like, I'm very, very hard on myself with everything I do. So even when I'm listening to it, because I've been trying to, like, run around Papago Park after work and stuff, and then I'll listen to a couple songs and then, like, see if I can get into it. It's like, I can get into it, but I want to make sure other people can get into it.
Yeah.
And that's what's important to me, because, like...
And that's when you show your mom.
Yeah.
And if your mom likes it.
Yeah. No, my mom loves it, so I think you guys will like it, too.
That's all you need.
That's
My
all I
mom said
need.
it was great, and she said it was a very special boy. Listen to the album.
Exactly.
It was. We went through Corey Spots for this one, and Corey Spots is a legend. He is awesome.
He made one of my favorite albums.
Yeah, the Doom EP. Great, awesome. And he made, like, more stuff that's also good.
Sales pitch.
Wow.
Go to Corey Spots. He made things that are good.
He's seriously good, and it's like, people will tell me, oh, well, I don't have that kind of money, but it's totally worth it. It's totally worth the money. Like, he will sit there. He took his drums in the day before for free. Didn't charge it. Just like, bring your drum set in. I'm gonna set your whole drum set up for like a few hours. Let it sit in the studio overnight to like acclimate to the temperature of the studio. Reset it up the morning of, and then we're gonna record. And then every couple takes, like, let me tune that snare drum up a little more.
Damn.
Like, he was drilling. Like, oh, you know, in the 8th kick of the second measure, you didn't hit the kick quite hard enough, so let's redo that section. You know, like, drilled it, and he's like, he's on everything. Like,
Focus.
So I get excited.
Worked up over here.
Leftover.
Oh, dear God. Yeah. Who let the dog out?
Roman.
We have an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey Spots is the man, and he produced it. Like Grey Asylum, there's a Ebo in it, like this, like.
Oh, I love Ebos.
And we're just playing, and we're like, oh, it does this, and he's like, I can hear, like, he picks up a guitar, he's like.
He just recorded every instrument for us.
Yeah, he did all the vocal tracks.
He's that good.
Our name is on it, so that's all that matters.
So, Roman, you want to do your vocals like this?
Yeah. He'll walk you through everything. he did kind of. He's like, let's do a low there. Let's layer that. Oh, let's add this here. Could you like open your mouth a little bit more when you do this scream? Like, could you pronounce this word a little more? Could you pronounce this word a little
not like
less?
a controlling way. He's just like adding to it and
Just
helping out.
Sometimes he'll test stuff out. Like, oh, let me hear a high. Oh, okay, no, never mind. Like he just like everything. Like he produces and does everything. He like cares about. He wants the band to do well. We didn't even ask him, but he reamped Grey Asylum for the new EP, so it's gonna sound a little chunkier.
Dude.
Well, and as narcissistic as you are, it's great that you are receptive to things like that.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome.
Well, it's nice because he's like an outside perspective. You know, he's like not in the band. He's like as a listener, because sometimes like we record guitar parts and they don't line up with the drums exactly, so he'll kind of like put in an idea to just change the rhythms for it a little bit. Because that happened with the first on the EP. You'll hear when you buy it on February 21st.
Oh shit!
Nice
The date is not set in stone.
Well, somewhere around February 21st.
You think within a
Mid
couple
to late
weeks.
February. It depends. We learned something.
You'll be able to
We
buy it
don't
by
want to have
March.
overlapping.
Yeah, you'll be able to buy it by
overlapping
March.
You'll be able, some point, towards the beginning of the next year, you'll be able to get this album. The album that you definitely need to get. But hell yeah. It sounds like he you can tell with Corey's work that it's not just taking your money and getting a product out. You can tell that like he cares about the product that he's putting out, and he cares the fact that your music is going to be part of his portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. He's it's almost like a member of the band.
Yeah.
Like oh, we have like a merch guy, we have a light guy, we have our sound engineer, you know. He's not like ours, but it's like we hire him because he has a good work ethic. He's got high standards, you know.
Yeah.
He wants to push you. Honestly, if we were just terrible, he could probably make something good out of us. Like,
And that's a mark of a good sound engineer. Fuck you.
just give me one of each note. I'm just gonna copy and paste it.
So I'm just gonna clip this together. Yeah, I wrote you guys a song. So the next album, we can hopefully expect to hear that towards the beginning of next year.
Yeah, spring. It just depends. Like
Q1 or Q2?
what?
Quarter
Probably
one, quarter
Q1.
two.
Q1 for sure.
Q1.
Okay.
Q101.
I don't even know.
Oh, you son of a
Chicago.
bitch! Yeah.
He gets it.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Q101.1 Chicago.
So for anybody that hasn't listened to you guys, can you give any like for fans of like recommendations compared off of bands they might already like?
That's tricky.
There's
All of them.
There's definitely riffs
tricky.
that like in stuff that we take or not take, but like influenced by stuff like Dying Fetus, obviously, Lamb of God. Like there's a riff that I wrote and I was like, oh, this is like similar to the spider riff from Hourglass.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was like, oh, like cool. Like it's just
It's like same technique,
Yeah.
but like different notes.
yeah. And it's
And,
just those ones
Lamb
in
of
particular.
God, Dying Fetus, Thy Art, like huge
Yep.
influences for us.
Buddy Rich.
Buddy
Yeah.
Rich.
Gene
the
Krupa.
drum fill,
Yeah.
no holding back. His kids' drum fills, man.
I've seen. I've caught one of your drum fills. I think it was like a prolonged drum fill that you were just going to fucking town on.
Inhuman Human, the drum solo. Yeah,
Dude.
Yep.
I was just like, holy shit.
he brings it.
These guys, what the fuck?
It's because he pushes himself. So like sometimes he'll like lay something on, and then this motherfucker will be like, "No, you can do it better." It's like do it twice as fast.
which is when it gets the. What do
Wait.
you mean I don't?
Chris,
So-
does,
so
Chris
you don't like
doesn't
blast
push
beats?
himself. Chris
Yeah.
is like, this is the best I can do. And then he pushes him.
I told this kid, I was like, hey, do you know what split blast beats are? I just heard some Archspire. He's like, no. It's also you'd like. It's like, oh, okay. Next practice, there's a part where it's triplet blast beats, and he. I was like. We wrote something where he split that in half. He did like split the split like
Oh damn. That's
His
like
kid's
some
a
fucking
lit-
Inception shit.
like didn't really practice, just thought of how to do it and did it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the big thing about like when you're trying to get something down, like you visualize it in your head first.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
He's fucking got it though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
I'll tell this kid shit and he just does it like, man.
I'm older than you.
I'm older than you. So listen to your.
Wait, really? Then Dustin, I
ones?
need
Listen
you
to your
do
juniors,
some
goddammit.
split blast
I'm
beats.
not buying you alcohol, Roman. You're 23. Just buy it yourself. God damn it.
So, oh my God, as much as I want this to go all goddamn night, we unfortunately do have to start wrapping up. So, where can we catch you guys online on the interwebs?
We're on everything. We're on literally everything.
LinkedIn, Twitter.
Follow us on
MySpace.
Facebook and Instagram. You know, Malnourished Band. We're not the Germans. We're not the German band.
I don't know, you look pretty German.
We've got our music on Spotify, iTunes, like Africa Simfight. We just clicked add all. Like we're on iHeartRadio. The only one that wouldn't take us was Pandora for some reason.
Same. What do you have against us, Pandora?
They're like locals.
Nobody wants to hear that.
No one's going to listen to this. Well, unfortunately, we do have to wrap for tonight, but it has been a goddamn pleasure having Malnourished in today. And do you guys have any closing words for the fans that you guys want to tell everybody tonight?
I'm Chris.
Oh yeah, that's his name. I fucking love my fans. Every time I see the mosh pit open up, it like warms my heart, and I have to try not to smile on stage and look brutal, but I want to smile because I love when I see this fucking mosh pits out there. Like, my fans are fucking awesome. All fucking 10 of you. Like,
If I make a funny face towards you while I'm on stage, please make one back.
And also, thank you for every single wall of death. It entertains the shit out of me. I fucking love it.
getting a wall of death. God,
It's the best feeling.
everything in the world is not so bad. Like,
Derek, say something.
Derek,
Narek, say something.
Come on!
Narek, you got 2 seconds.
Oh shit! That's why I should have said that. What? What'd you say? Nothing.
Nothing.
You guys didn't tell Dustin he's out of the band yet?
Windex?
Wait, Dustin's out of the band.
Dustin's out of the band. Oh shit, that's me.
I'm out of the band.
All right, y'all. Till next time. Peace.
later.
Thanks for watching.
Adios.
Yeah, which is like some people really enjoy. Like a comment that I've received a lot on my music as I've progressed as an artist